You know who it is, and you know what time it is. It's Deconverted Man time. Yes. Okay, so April 1st is fast upon us. Only a couple days away. I mean, 31st, and then it's the 1st. So, yeah, 2 days away. I think I did the math right. I don't know. You let me know in the comments below. At any rate, we're going to get somebody out there, I'm sure, that's going to be like, it's Atheist Day. Happy Atheist Day. On April 1st, because oh, Fool's Day. Oh, in the Bible it says the fool says, and all that bullshit. And we've heard it. We've heard it so many times. And my response is irritation, because I used to actually be a Christian. I actually used to care what the Bible said, and not just what it said, but who it was actually saying it to. Of course, research into the actual history of the Bible led me to be a skeptic. So typically the person that's calling April 1st Atheist Day hasn't really looked into what the Bible is talking about, because if they had, they might turn out to be a skeptic. Anyways, so where does this come from? Oh, good. It comes from the Psalms. These are songs. These are like hymns to sing. They're not meant to be anything else. Who wrote them and when? Where were they found and who found them? Where were these writings found? Again, that sort of history is something that your typical theist isn't going to know. I don't know who found it. I don't know when it was found. I don't know, but it says it in the Bible. Oh, you mean the completed thing that you might own a copy of? Okay. What version are you using? Do you know Hebrew? Do you know what this word is in Hebrew? Do you know what it says in Hebrew? No, of course not. That would take actual research and study and learning about their own religion. And sadly, a lot of religious people just aren't that interested in learning more about it. After all, they don't need to. Christianity lets you be lazy. All you have to do is believe the certain thing and you're good to go. You don't have to research into it further. All right, so the Psalm says, there's different versions. We got King James, which is the horrible one. But I guess since it's poetry, I suppose it's not too terrible. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. So is the fool saying not only that there's no God, but also that they are corrupt and that they have done abominable works and there's none that does good? Or is the fool just saying there's no God, and then it's calling that fool corrupt, of doing abominable works, and not somebody that's doing good? See, without quotes like around the what the fool is apparently saying here, it's kind of hard to figure out exactly what it is the fool is supposed to be saying. That's a problem when you're looking at different translations. All right, so then God, the Lord, looks down from heaven upon the children of men. Not really sure how you can look down from heaven, since heaven is not supposed to be located in space-time according to more modern theists, but I suppose heaven is up there. But how can you look down? I mean, the world is it's this globe, so it sounds like he's looking down, like I can see everything because it's flat. Anyways, God's looking down on the children of men, see if there's any that did understand and seek God, but they're all gone aside. They're all together. They became filthy. There's none that does good, no one. So does that describe the world that we live in? The world that we are looking at? Let's see. So is this talking about any modern day atheist or anyone else that might say that there's no God? Well, if you want to assert that it is, then you also have to assert that God's looking down and finding no one that does any good, that the workers of iniquity have no knowledge, who eat my people say to bread, do not call upon the Lord. So is that going on? Or are there people eating up people? Whatever that means. They were in great fear, for God is in the generation of righteousness. Is there people in great fear and righteousness right now? Or is a lot of people not in fear and or righteousness? You've shamed the counsel of the court because the Lord is in his refuge. Is that going on? The salvation of Israel will come out of Zion. When the Lord bringeth back the captivity of the people, Jacob shall rejoice and Israel shall be glad. Has this happened yet? Okay, so this is the end of the song, right? So who the hell is it talking about? It can't be talking about atheists at all. Not even close. It just can't be talking about them, because those characteristics that it's describing do not match the world that we have in any way, shape, or form. Now, I did find a clue. If you look at I found a website. I don't know how reliable it is, but it seems to be a Christian type of website, and it says that that the Hebrew word fool is nabal, that refers to an impious person who has no perception of ethical or religious truth. The meaning of the text is not unintelligent people do not believe in God. Rather, the meaning of the text is sinful people do not believe in God, at least according to this particular website, which I forgot to show you on the screen. That's kind of silly, isn't it? I'll just link to it because I don't know. I mean, this is just one opinion from one particular website. Okay, but at least they're going into detail about the Hebrew. That's more than your typical theist that's saying Atheist Day, April 1st, ha ha ha, Atheist Day. That's more than they're doing, because they could care less about the Hebrew. They could care less about who it was written to, when it was written, where it was located, who found these writings. Were they on a scroll? Did we find them in a cave? Were they in pots? Were they in vases? What were there psalms left out of the final codex? Were all the psalms canonized, or were there some not canonized? And what was that process about? And who did that process? And when and where? And how did they decide what's canon and not? They don't know that, because it's just easier to just read the story in English and go, oh yeah, it says the fool says in their heart there's no God. So obviously the atheist is saying that, and obviously they're a fool. Ha 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 ha. I'm so smug and superior. Funny thing about that, more than just their lack of knowledge of their own religion, is, okay, what's your argument? Call me a fool all you want. That's not an argument. That doesn't prove you're right at all. I might indeed be a fool, but I could still be right. So all you're doing is an attempt at an insult that doesn't even work, because I don't care what your Bible says. You have to prove that your Bible is true. And you haven't done that. And you haven't researched it, so you don't know what you're talking about. But it's going to happen. We're going to see Happy Atheist Day. And in fact, while I was trying to find a video to talk about, I found one video that was like, Atheist Day coming. I'm like, here we go. Somebody's going to do this already. And I couldn't find any videos to really talk about. I had a video up earlier, but I lost a couple subs. I don't know if it was because of that video, but I thought, wow, man, that video must have really sucked. So I just took it down. I was like, screw it. And it kind of did suck because it was kind of an off-the-cuff thing. And now I'm complaining about it in this video, which might make this video suck. So I don't know what I'm doing on YouTube. Clearly, I don't know how anything works. Anyways, so yeah, that's that stuff. I don't know. It's. I mean, just why? All right. So that was, I guess, it. So April 1st, rolling around, people are going to try to fool us. Me, I am not going to be fooled because I'm a skeptic. And it would take something extraordinary to turn me into a theist. So I'll tell you what, on April 1st, if some insane, amazing argument or evidence crosses my path, then I'll upload a video that will just completely blow away all arguments against God. I will demonstrate it concretely. It will be the most well-researched video I've ever produced or ever done, and I'll even call myself Infinite Hope. But I doubt that that's going to happen.